This video, I'm going to introduce you one of the amazing generative AI company, which will replace your call center dialers, eliminate hundreds of man hours to make outbound calls, and bring significant cost advantage for your company. Vodex harness the power of generative AI to fully automate your outbound calls, delivering a transformative communication experience. With Vodex, you can expand your reach, generate more qualified leads, connect with more potential customer, and close more deals without increasing your workforce. Vodex can make more than 10,000 calls in less than 1 hour. Watch this video till the end to get the overview of Vodex and its top features.
Hi, Ameya. Thanks so much for connecting.
Yes, absolutely. I think last time we tried, but it did not work out for some time. Sure. So first, let me hear the introduction of the company, what your company is, who are the owner, exactly how this company was started, what was the idea behind it.
Right.
And then you can just basically do the demonstration of the software.
Right, absolutely. So I'll tell you a little bit about the company, Ameya. So we've been in the market for about a year right now, and the R&D started about 2.5 years. So my founders, they've started this research and everything about 3 years. They've started reading papers in Chinese and in Russian language and converted that into to English. Then they started reading about it, and they started working on it when generative AI and AI was not the so much of a hype right now. So we have one of the founders who have been very into research and into what actually the generative AI is right now. So most of the companies right now you can see all of them have AI in front of their name and they think it's an AI company, right? However, ours is a complete end-to-end generative AI company, and we are into voice calls. We are trying to help companies in sales and marketing outbound calls by automating it. At the same time, we make sure that voice is really human. So what helps companies with, for example, the Truecaller integration helps companies to increase the pickup rates. And after that, it's human voice, right? So I'll give you an example, Ameya. For example, you're getting a call from HDFC and you pick up the call because you see it's a legit company, right? And after that, once you pick up the call, if it's a IVR voice, are you more likely to continue the conversation, or would you be like, I have a lot of work, I don't have time to listen to an IVR voice, you just disconnect the call, right?
Absolutely.
So the latter one is more probable and more occurring, and is more susceptible in terms of customer behavior. So we have put human voice there. So you're more likely to listen to at least one or two sentences what the AI will be telling you. And after that, the conversational flow will happen. So this is how the technology works in a very, brief term. I'm telling you right now, there are a lot of moving parts here. So we are training our, LLM models. We have integration with companies like Google's. We had integration with GPT. So there's a lot of moving elements here. At the same time, we want to make sure that we give our customers the best quality. And how can we do that? By inventing over and over again, right? Because AI is changing on weekly basis, Ameya, right? What I'm seeing in my company from last 3 months and right now, it's so different. It's so huge, right? So it's changing every week. So we don't have to wait for 6 months, 1 year for things to change. It's changing every week, and we are one of the companies in India who are trying to keep up with it. Google has acknowledged us. People from abroad, from the US, has acknowledged us. We have about 5 to 7 US clients from real estate, solar panels, and all of those things. So it has been quite an interesting journey for me. Me coming from a sales background and trying to get into the tech also and sales also, business part also, very interesting and very much, eye-opening, I can do.
Sure. So is the AI so adaptive even as per the international accents, voice and accents? How is that? Could you tell me a little more?
Actually, Amaya, so we have various kind of voices. So for example, you're telling me, Vishnu, I want an Indian voice, like an Indian accent voice, because we are, for example, I'm an Indian, and if somebody calls me and he talks in an Indian accent, I'm more likely to like have this connection with him. So that's something we have done. And for the US, the same thing applies, right? So if it's in a US accent, that person is more likely to, bring the interest of the customer to even to have a conversation. So we have accents varied across geographical, areas in the world.
Right, absolutely. So I think the contact center industry is a major proportion of your possible clientele, or any other industries also are you getting inquiries from?
Right, Amay. So right now, what I'd say is we are an industry agnostic company. So wherever, which no matter what the industry is, wherever there is, huge chunk of outbound calling, we can come into picture and we can save a lot of cost for these companies and standardize the whole outbound process right now. So outbound process right now in most of the companies, people hire a lot of telecallers, a lot of SDRs, and they do all these typical kind of lead qualification calls, right? All these simple calls. And we are automating that to make sure those people are involved in something which is more sophisticated, which has something to do with closing an account or taking the account forward, something in understanding what the customer needs to create a connection with the customer. So the basic lead qualification, we are taking care of it,
Okay. All right. So now, before we move on to the demonstration, the last question I would like to ask is, what would be the main three top features that you can say about the AI tool what you have created, and how is that going to solve customers' problem?
So Ameya, one is the voice. The kind of voice that we have is very much human-like, and if you want a complete human voice, we can deliver that for you. If you want a voice which is kind of a US accent, we can deliver that for you. So one is definitely the voice. The second point is kind of the promptness, right? So right now you might see in an AI company, especially in a voice AI companies, people have latency, Ameya. For example, after a customer would respond, right, ask AI a question, it would have latency for about 3 to 3.5 seconds on an average right now. But with us, it is about 2.2 to 2.8 seconds. So we are doing better than average in terms of latency. And recently, Ameya, we also introduced our in-house text-to-speech engine. So text-to-speech engine would help you create content real time. That means the conversation could be more interesting. The conversation could be more engaging with your customers. It could upsell. It could cross-sell. It could understand when a customer would say, hey, it's too costly for me right now, so I don't want to go ahead with it. So it can, mold, or it can change its pitch accordingly, so the customer would buy the product. So we are at that stage right now, and within a couple of months, we'll be releasing full-fledged text-to-speech engine for all of our existing clients and the prospects who are with us right now. So on 15th of September, we are releasing our text-to-speech engine, that is the Vodex 2.0 worldwide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. All right. Okay, that's good to hear. Congratulations.
Thank you, Maya. Thank you so much.
Yes. So this is your website, right? Vodex.ai. If someone wants to reach out to you, I'll go through the details. Okay. Excellent. All right. Beautiful. So now, Sheryl, you can take it further from here, and you can show us, how the live demo of your product.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ameya, for giving me this opportunity. I'll just go ahead and share my screen, and I'll show you how our platform works. Give me one.
Sure.
Okay, so I think you can see my screen now.
Yes.
Wonderful. So we would be creating and we'll create an account for them. Okay, whichever is the company, whichever company would be with us, we'll be creating an individual account for them. And once they enter their credentials, they'll have their own IDs and passwords that would be given to them. So once they enter that, they come to a screen like this once you log in. Now, this page looks pretty much self-explanatory. So you have on the right-hand top corner, you will see your login ID. On the left-hand side, you'll see all the tabs, all right, the features here. Now, you can please interrupt me if you have any questions. I'll be more than glad to answer them for you.
Certainly. Okay.
Great. So this dashboard here will be very simple details like, your account balance, your total call cost that you have used already, and what are the calls made, total number of calls that you've made, then the minutes you've used, how many minutes are remaining, how many audience counts you have added, how many campaign counts you have added. All this page is basically a report. It's a summary report that will show you of your entire activity. All right.
Sure. Okay.
So here, this circle that you see here, let's say that, today I've triggered around 500 calls. So green will indicate how many calls have been connected. So as you see here, it shows 139 calls have been connected. All right.
Okay.
And here the red will indicate as the calls failed. So you see 46 calls failed. Now calls failed could be anything like someone who was out of coverage area, or maybe the call just didn't get connected for XYZ reasons. That would come under call failed. All right. Now, let's say that the campaign data that we have here, in case of the calls failed, let's say if this is an international client, okay, like in international clients, maybe they just didn't connect it. But as Vishnu said, the new feature that we have coming in, the text to speech, launching on September 15th. So our AI bot is going to be that smart enough that even if a call gets connected to an answering machine, it would have the capability to leave a message on the answering machine.
That's fantastic. The new,
yes, that's the new technology that's going to be coming up. And coming to the campaign data, since this is a demo account, it's not showing up here, but this is a graph which will show you your activity on a daily basis. Like you see the dates here at the bottom. Let's say today we've triggered around 1,000 calls, then maybe tomorrow we triggered say 700 calls. So it will show you an up and down graph. So let's say if I want to check my team's weekly weekly performance, like how many calls they have done this week, so I can just go to the dashboard and it will show me as a full over here, this next day how many calls were made, and the next day it can give you a proper glance of a weekly report out here. All right.
Okay.
So that's
Excellent.
all about the dashboard. And do you have any questions here, Ameya?
Yeah, so I think looking at this and from hearing from you, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this would be an amazing tool, especially when it comes to outbound sales or any outbound campaigns when there are thousands of calls dialed every day. And even for small, mid-size or large-size companies can be benefited from it. Is that right?
You're absolutely correct.
Okay, excellent.
All right.
Yeah.
Great. So coming to the recordings tab here. Now, as Vishnu mentioned to you that, throughout the day, we get a lot of calls from IVR machines, these IVR calls, trying to sell us credit cards or maybe giving us personal loans. And we just listen to the first few seconds and we know it's an IVR and we end up just hanging up after listening to the first 3 to 4 seconds. Right.
Absolutely.
So
I agree.
we do not want to do the same thing here. Right. So what we do is we give it a human voice. So what happens is tomorrow, in case if you hear a human voice or anyone hears a human voice, they're more likely to listen to them, right? Rather to an IVR voice. So here we give a feature where whatever the script may be, let's say, if I am a company, I'm a beauty company and I'm kind of selling some of my beauty products. So, and any script that I have, maybe an abandoned cart, maybe someone added some items to the cart, but they left it. They did not go ahead and check out, right? So, I can go ahead and, have a human voice. I can have that person's voice recorded and according to the script saying, hey, I see that you add so many things to the cart but you left it. So it sounds more human like, it gives a human voice and a person is more likely to listen to that voice. Correct.
True. I agree. I agree.
That's something like is really interesting, and people like doing that. Most of the companies who are currently working with us, they like the human voice feature, which helps them a lot. So coming to the WhatsApp feature, so most of the clients here in India, when we trigger calls to them, right? Some people, let's say that, I have some discounted offers, right? Let's say today is some kind of festival and, I have some offers to throw out to my clients. I can say, hey, you can buy 3 products in $9.99. So maybe someone might say, you know what, hey, I'd like to know what those products are. Let me know something more about your products. So, the AI is smart enough to understand that these people have asked something on WhatsApp. So what will happen is that particular company can give Vodex any kind of a brochure or a flyer. So what would happen is those customers can be automatically sent something on WhatsApp. So we have an integration with WhatsApp. So anyone who says that, can you send me some details? I'd like to know more about your products. So the AI after the call can send some details on WhatsApp for the customer to know much better about what we are offering.
Sure. Okay. All right.
Now, this is the main features here of our tool, which is the audience and the campaign. All right. Here is where you're actually going to go ahead and add your, your client's information. Like, let's say I have a data of say 10,000 customers who I need to call, right? So all I need to do is I click on audience. I just click on new audience list here. I can give it any name that I want, whatever I want. I can just give it a name. And here I will go ahead. If I have my data in an Excel file, all I need to do is upload the Excel file and then I hit on save. My Excel file is now uploaded, which means my data has been taken now. All right. My data is set. Now I want to start triggering the calls. All I'll do is go to campaign. I'll do the same thing here. I'll go to add campaign. I'll give the campaign a name, whatever name I'd like to give. And here I will select the audience that I created on the previous tab and I'll hit on save. So now my audience is added, everything is done. Now the only thing left for me to do is triggering my calls, right? So I will go ahead. The moment I hit on run campaign, within 7 to 10 seconds, all my calls will start triggering simultaneously. So if I have gone ahead and added a data of say 5,000 on my Excel sheet, all the 5,000 calls will start triggering simultaneously. All right. This will take approximately around about say 60 minutes. And once the calls are triggered, you'll get real-time reports. You will actually know what has happened on that call. Let's say you're using a CRM. Let's say you're using any kind of a CRM like maybe Salesforce or maybe Zoho or HubSpot. We even have the feature where we can integrate the CRM. All right. So you don't have to use any kind of Excel or something as such. We can have the integration done with your CRM. So that makes the life more easy. So everything gets, that everything is done on your CRM and you have nothing to worry about. Right. Now, let's say that, you have a huge database.
Sorry to interject here, you share it. So integration with CRM is really important for enterprise companies or companies who are actually using CRMs like Salesforce, Zoho, for example. Because once we integrate with your CRM, let's say one single lead or 5,000 lead or 10,000 lead would land on the CRM, right? So they don't have to manually do anything. The AI will pick those leads up and it'll automatically trigger a call to all of those leads within about 7 to 8 seconds approximately. So, you don't have to manually go to the platform and upload the contacts or anything. You just have to integrate our product onto their CRM and we can customize certain data points for them. And after that, any lead landing on their CRM, a call would be automatically triggered to them within 7 to 8 seconds.
That is really great. I think it's a very useful tool, very useful feature. What about the dialers? I don't think even the external dialer will be required in this case, like a predictive dialer or power dialer, I believe, right?
We don't. So we have our end-to-end solutions. So you don't need to require, the clients that we have, they don't need to have a dialer. So we have, everything sorted. So you don't need to go for another party for their outbound calling solution. We would take care of it 100%.
So that I think it's a huge cost advantage, especially for the small and mid-sized companies.
Yes. And also for the larger companies, right? So they might spend separate amount of money, like a bulk amount of money on their dialers. Here, we can just take care of them. We can ask them, we can take care of it. And every cost and everything is included with an AI. You'll be getting all
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Great. Thank you so much, Vishnu. So coming to the next here where you see schedule, schedule it later. So let's say this can come in use, for example, like, maybe, you have like a long, maybe a holiday or something as such, or, this can be done where you can schedule your calls well in advance. So let's say you have a huge database, right, of 10 to 20,000, and you'd like to schedule those calls or you'd like to trigger those calls in batches. So, you'll have one less thing to worry about. So, I can schedule my, my calls for the next 5 days or maybe for a week, so that at least I have one less thing to worry about when I come to work. Okay, I know, like, okay, my daily basis, my calls have been scheduled. So I have nothing to worry about. I just need to select the date here, need to select the time here. And let's say if I am working internationally, then I need to select a time zone as well. And then I just hit on the schedule button. All right. And then once I hit on schedule, during that particular date and time zone, the calls will automatically start triggering. All right.
Sure.
Now let's say that, my calls are triggered and it's done. Everything is done. Now I need to know how many of my clients are interested. How many of my clients have said, hey, could you send me some details in WhatsApp? I need to know that, right? So simple. I'll just go on view campaign run details. Here I have each and every call that is triggered, Ameya. All these calls are recorded. But listening to each and every call is going to be very much time consuming. So all I can do is I can filter out my calls here. All right. Now this option is totally customizable. You can customize it as per your business requirements. All right. So I can select maybe interested. Some of them have, some of them have their businesses maybe who offer demos, correct? So maybe you can select, how many of them have asked for demos, how many of them ask for details in WhatsApp. However you want to customize your filters, you can customize it, and then accordingly you can apply the filters here. All right. Now, in case of small term companies who do not use a CRM and who work on an Excel file, let's say I've filtered my interested clients. These are my interested clients here. All I will do is I'll just hit on export. Here I have the export option. Now I have all my interested clients come. So now what will happen is I have a few agents. My agents can now focus only on the interested clients. So that will end up saving a lot of the time.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. Absolutely.
Right?
Yes. So let's say if you're owner of a business, right, and you might have a team of telecallers who are about 70 to 100. And they're doing so many calls, right? And you won't go and listen to all of them individually, right? That's impossible. So here we have done the same thing, So rather than hiring, 50 to 70 telecallers, you can let us do the calling for you. And after that, we'll also filter out those calls who are interested, who are not interested. And you have all of these call recordings here. So helping you in, going and choosing any of the recordings and listen to the quality of it, and also it is helping you in customizing the filters. Filters are very important because let's say if I'm doing 10,000 calls, I would need to know as a company how many of people out of those 10,000 calls are interested in my services. How many of them are not? How many of them are really annoyed? How many of them are dissatisfied? How many of them have asked me to call them back? So all of this custom filter we design, specifically customized for each and every client.
Excellent. Now I'm just a little bit more curious about the two things what are there on the screen. One is template, that how we can upload it, or basically do we need to give any basically how does that feature works. Second is any call recording examples you have, like can we hear the actual the call recording of the AI?
Sure, absolutely. So Cheryl can take you through the templates part, because we want the platform to be more self-serving. We don't want our customers to come back to us for every little changes that they want to do. So we have made this platform as easy, as non-cluttered as possible. So you can go and you can change things by yourself. And if you have any doubts, you can just call us because we have 24/7 support, for US clients and also for Indian clients.
Sure. Does this also work for other languages other than English, like Spanish and French and all?
Yes. So Spanish we can do, English we can do. In India, we can do a couple of languages, and let's say if you want to do your calls in Tamil or Kannada, you can let us know about 2 weeks ago. We can start training the model and we can hit the ground within 2 weeks. So we have a lot of languages that are in place right now. However, if you want some language which is, not there with us, we can train the language in about 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay. All right. So I understood about the templates that would be customized depending on the requirement by the companies. Now, last two questions. One is if you could listen to the call recording, any examples if you have. Second thing is about the pricing. What is the pricing designed and how people can be benefited from it?
Yeah. So before I take you to the pricing and the recordings, I'd also like to let you know that we have two interesting features here as well. One is we are integrated with Truecaller, which is very, very important. Because we receive a lot of calls today, which show up as spams, which show up as, fraud. And, we really don't bother to answer them, even if we are sitting idle with a free time. Obviously, if we are busy, we would never answer them any which ways. But even if we are sitting free, and if we know that this is a spam, we won't bother answering them, right? Here we have an integration with Truecaller, which means we can get your number, the company's number masked. So what happens in that way is when the calls are triggered to the people, it would come as a verified call, which means it will show up as a legitimate company that is calling. So this will help them in increasing their pickup rates. To give you an example over here, let's say that when you place an order on Zomato or Swiggy, right? And if they're lost somewhere, they couldn't find your location, and if they give you a call, you'll always get it as a verified call. It will come as a green tag, right? Which means that this is a legit call that is coming, so you're definitely going to answer that call.
Agree.
So similarly, in the same way is how we are going to show it to our clients as well, especially for people who do sales, who do cold callings. It's very important for them. This would help them in increasing their pickup rates. So we can get it.
Yeah, this could also be good, help for marketing teams in terms of brand visibility, right? So the brand's name is showing up on Truecaller and getting a call from them, and they are talking about the new, event that the company has, the new product that the company has launched. So marketing can utilize this and make the most out of it, right? So the pickup rates, we have increased the pickup rates of the companies who are not using us by about 23 to 27%. So that's a very huge number. Just because of this, integration and the human voice involved. Yeah.
Sure. All right. One more question is this more especially in the outbound campaigns? I totally understood this is a very important feature. The entire software, what you have designed, the entire AI is going to be extremely helpful in outbound campaigns. But does it also help inbound campaigns to some extent?
Ameya, right now we're not doing inbound. However, in future, by 2024 second quarter, we are planning to go there. But right now, we just want to be tunnel focused on just outbound, because we believe, if you focus on so many things at once, you're not able to do any one thing to its perfection. And we want to be perfect. We want to be best at outbound calls.
Totally makes sense.
So that's what we're targeting right now.
Sure. Okay. Yes, Cheryl.
Great. So we also have another feature here, which is a call transfer feature. Now, the call transfer feature here is let's say, the AI has done its job and, somebody is really interested, says, hey, this sounds really good to me. So maybe you can, they can get the call real-time transfer to any of the available agents and they can close the sale or the deal then and there. So that is an added benefit that we have, where you can do real-time transfers. So here, this is more or less, most of it of the demo, Ameya. We finished the demo over here.
Yeah. So how interesting this would be, right? Let's say, I am a salesperson and my company is giving me warm transfer. So I can just, AI can qualify the leads for you, validate all of the qualifying questions for you, and warm transfer that data to my system. All I have to do is go and close the account within a couple of hours. Right. So you see the
100%.
kind of sales and marketing processes enhancements that we are trying to achieve here, because the Truecaller integration would help you in pickup rates. The real-time transfer feature would help sales people to close deals much faster than how they are doing right now. Because let's say if you wait more than 24 hours for any of the warm leads, you're less likely to close that deal or get the money in the bank. So we make sure you transfer the call to your sales folks. They can go ahead and close the account within a couple of hours.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. It's going to increase the productivity. It's going to definitely increase the profitability of the company. So I'm completely convinced. I really like this tool. Or anyone who's watching the videos, they follow my content, all the companies, I'm sure that they can also be benefited from this tool, definitely. So now coming back to the recordings, do you have any sample recordings at the moment, or do you want people to reach out to your website and then go through the sample recordings? How is that?
So I'm going to play one. Please let me know if it's audible, please.
Sure.
I think you should be able to hear it now.
Yes.
Hi, this is Rachel from Global Market Investments. My records show that you recently took interest in learning how to make profits from investing in the financial markets. Is that something you're still interested in?
I'm sorry, where did you say you're calling from? I didn't get you.
At Global Market Investments, we have a group of expert financial specialists who have actually been working for over a decade in the industry to guide and assist private and corporate investors in gaining knowledge and success in the financial markets. So as a trader, your consultant would be supporting you through your investment journey and providing you with fundamental and technical analysis, trading techniques, trading signals, money management plan, and much more. So is that something that you would be interested in learning more about?
So how much does it cost, your services, I mean?
Our financial advisors do not charge fees for their services, so a consultation is absolutely free of charge with no strings attached. So is that something that you would be interested in learning more about?
Yeah, please go ahead.
All right, you should be expecting a call shortly.
Great. So that's
okay. Excellent. I think, yeah. I mean, it doesn't sound like AI at all. I mean, it sounds like a actual person. Of course, the scripts can be modified depending on each company, so they can customize it and then shorten the scripts however they want it. But I really like it, the human voice behind it.
Thank you.
Yes.
The credit goes to the tech team,
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Now tell us, the most important thing is pricing. What is the pricing and how do you compare it?
Yeah. Cheryl, I can present the pricing.
Yes, I will do that. Just a second. Yes,
Excellent.
This is a US pricing that we have. So here again, that's in 500, 2000, 10,000. It goes on, so on and so forth. So we start with US, it's 15 cents per minute. Again, the validity, and that's $4,500 for 500, 2,000, and then 10,000. That's how it works.
Beautiful. Okay. Yeah, that helps. Absolutely. Yes, that definitely helps. And if you compare the pricing, because they're not going to offer any external dialer cost, which is a significant amount in it. They don't need separate VoIP minutes, I believe, because it's already part of the solutions what you're giving. And also, they don't need to hire lots of employees to dial calls and then do the follow-ups and control the quality. So if we look at the pricing, it's extremely minimal. I'm really thinking. So they can just filter out the database and focus on only a few hundred interested customers instead of working on the entire raw database. So
absolutely.
Yes. Okay. So I have recorded this video. I will be sharing it on all my social platforms. Very soon, I will share the links with you. Do you have any questions before we conclude?
Nothing, Ameya.
I think it was awesome, and I enjoyed connecting with you. We enjoyed explaining Vodex, and we hope that you share this video, and I'm sure people are going to love Vodex. Is what I have to say.
Same here. I enjoyed this session too. I'm sure people will be benefited from these solutions. And you're bringing on especially amazing features, especially for the contact center industry. So hats off to your entire team. I think so. Really great work.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate this. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.